Hi, Happy New Year. Almost. Give me 1 second. Can anybody guess what I'm doing? I am making sure to send this over to my personal page because, as we all know, we all carry a bulk of our audience on our personal Facebook page, and that's okay. So, a couple weeks ago, my mom was here in my living room with me, and she said, you should do a fireside chat. And I kind of just tabled the idea, and today when I was getting ready to go live, I thought, I'm going to do a fireside chat. So my back is burning, but this is my living room. This is where my den. This is where Brian and I spend a lot of our time. And so I'm excited to bring you here with me. This is going to be a lengthy video because I am going to really dive into all of my planners and my planning system, and even dive into the Flex Your Influence Master Planner, so you can kind of see that. We had some questions like, how do I get started? And so we're going to go into that. But first I want to say I hope everyone had an amazing Christmas, an amazing holiday season, whether you spent it alone, whether you spent it with family and friends, whether you traveled, whatever you did. I hope that it filled your cup. For me, Christmas and the holiday season is a little hectic, as probably it is for a lot of people, but I do try to enjoy it, and yeah, it's really the most wonderful time of the year. So let's get into planners. As you can see, sorry, I have something in my eye. As you can see, the title of this Facebook Live is Planners, Planning, and Plans. So we're talking everything planning. And I'm going to show a little bit of my personal planning and also my business planning. So, which is probably one of the reasons why you stopped by in the first place. So I am going to keep my comments open down below since I have you in front of me. And here we go. So where do we get started when it comes to planning? I mean, that's like chicken before the egg. Like, where do you start? Now, it might be a process for you. If you've never had a planner at all, then it's a process, because it's like, what do you even buy? You can go to Target, you can go to Office Depot, you can go to Staples, and they have a ton of planner options. If you are on Instagram and you are fed planner ads, you'll see there's a whole nother e-commerce line of planners. So I will start with my personal planner. I have had this planner brand for 7 years. I've been using it. I love it. What do I love about it? I love the quality. I love the size. I love the paper quality. The paper quality is second to none. I mean, it's fabulous. This is the Erin Condren. There's a link in the show notes. And this is what I use for every day. Now, the Erin Condren, like I said, this is going to be a very lengthy video, so enjoy or watch later. But the Erin Condren there's different options. So there's a horizontal layout for your week, so it's a weekly layout. There is a vertical where there's 3 boxes, vertical, and then there's also an hourly. This is really my first year doing an hourly planner. And so what the hourly looks like is basically your week laid out in hours. And so I'm really liking this. I was actually inspired to do that by my sister, who also has the hourly. And so this is a big year for me, jumping from a vertical to the hourly. Other planning options that you have, you can do daily planning. So your planner has a page for every day. The Day Designer has that. Day Designer, to me, sometimes that became a little too much because every day I didn't need to do that. So you have daily planning, weekly planning, checklist planning. Really, planning can be how you see your week. So sometimes when I make my plan, I don't always, I'm not sitting there every day like, okay, well, now my schedule says to do this. A lot of it's in my head. A lot of it's on my phone, and it comes up as as a reminder. But I do it so I can see an overview of my week and my day. And I can say, whoa, that is way too many phone calls in that day. No more phone calls. Or maybe I really even need to reschedule something because I accidentally overbooked myself. And we all know that if we're overworked, we're depleted. And nobody wants me depleted. Nobody wants anybody depleted. But if you have anything to do with me, you do not want me depleted because it is no fun. So that's the essence of planning your day. So a lot of people also use a planner even as a checklist or as a kind of like as a journal. So journaling what you did that day or what you're going to do that day. There's so many reasons why you'd want to use a planner. I love it. It's my it's like my creative outlet. It's what I do to use beautiful pens and highlighters and stickers. I have hundreds, maybe thousands of stickers, and I use them. I love them. I love pens. I love Post-its, and it's what makes me happy. So Brian, my husband, knows that I need to be kept in all of those fun office supplies because it keeps me inspired. So that is my life planner, okay? So this usually travels everywhere with me, okay? This goes with me on the road, everywhere I go, okay? Now, this is my yearly planner, okay? These come in mega size, but I like this size because I can move it from room to room. I can take it to my office in downtown LA. I can cart it back if I need to look at it, etc., etc. So what I do on this yearly planner, the first thing I do is I put in all my known travel dates, all my known conferences, speaking events, and all of that. Vacation also that I know of. I also plan any campaigns or launches. So as you know, we have a membership site called the Flex Your Influence Community. And there's only 4 enrollment periods per year. And so I have not only added the enrollment periods on this calendar, but I have also noted when I'll be doing the enrollment period. So there's a challenge, there's a launch, challenge, and a launch. So all of that is here, okay? Now the way I did that was I first said, okay, how many times do I want enrollment? 4 times? Let's work our way back. So I added them here. Then I added when the challenge and the launch period, like when the enrollment period is open, and added that there. Because now I can take this information and I know how to plan my content, social media posts, blogs, podcasts, Facebook Lives, all around that launch, okay? So this is one of the main things. I have, for my business, I use the Flex Your Influence Master Planner. Now, I could be biased because I designed, published, thought of, this is one of my babies. I designed and created this, and it is specifically for people who do content marketing, whether it's for their business or for somebody else. it's a way to plan around your ideas, plan. Okay, so you can add some rhythm and rhyme to what you are doing online rather than shooting from the hip. So the planner has 4 sections: foundation, content mastermind, email and conversion, and then the planner. So where do you start? When you have this planner, there are prompts here where you can go and get resources where I walk you through the planner. So I'm kind of doing that again right now very quickly. But in the foundation, you want to start there because I ask you specifically like about goals, about things that didn't work in the past, setting up your login information. Like, I'm probably not going to put my login information because I already have a system, but I cannot tell you how many times I have worked with a client who has no idea what their passwords are for their social media. And that is a problem, and you're not alone. This happens a lot. And so I want to make sure that everybody knows that. So that's why this is in the planner. There's a section to say who's your team, what's the schedule, who will do what, who works when, and on social, on marketing, etc., etc. So here is the promotional annual planner. Now, I have not filled this part out because I did this 6 months ago or 3 months ago on a separate sheet of paper and have already mapped that out. So I will add it to this planner because I want to see the planner completely filled in. But what promotions will I be running every single month? That's a question that I have for myself. And then we have the event annual planner. So what events are taking place? And, when am I traveling? When am I speaking, etc. Now here is the biggie. This is your themes for the year. So let me see of course I don't know what minute this is, but because I know people have been asking about this. How do we do the themes? What do we do the themes? People are asking, if I do a theme, I want to be flexible. I want to have flexibility. So just because you picked a theme for a certain month, it doesn't mean that you can't change it. So unless you write your content for that whole year in advance, then yeah. But the point of picking themes ahead of time is so that you can kind of breeze through the year. I mean, you know how hectic a year will go. I mean, if we blink, it's going to be April. If we blink, it's going to be Christmas again. We know that. Things happen so fast. And so what I see in my business and with my students in the membership is that, we get busy, so marketing takes a back seat. Marketing takes a back seat, and then all of a sudden you're not doing blogs, you're not doing Facebook Lives, and then one day you get time. You're like, okay, great, I can sit down and write a blog. What should I write about? You don't want to do that. The reason why you pick themes is so that way you have an overarching theme that you can write from. So in January, my theme for my company is celebrate. And I have written down a bunch of ideas for celebrate. Celebrate your wins from 2019. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate your team. So all these different ways that I can write content around celebrate. And so my thing is that, and what I always teach and what I always go back on, is that if you're an expert in your field, if I give you any topic, you can turn that around for your company, for your industry. So obviously, I want everything to come back to digital marketing. So to celebrate, I want people to celebrate, what win did you have online? And people might say, well, I launched a podcast, or I launched my YouTube channel, or I went live on Facebook every week in 2019, or that's what I want to do in 2020. everything will revolve around celebration. So every month now has its own theme, and all my content is going to stem from that. So Facebook Lives, sometimes it takes a lot of energy to get on these Facebook Lives. Am I right? Yes. Takes a lot of energy. It takes some preparation. And so the last thing you want to think about is, okay, what am I going to talk about? So it's important that if you have a theme, you can just start pulling topics off of that theme. And to answer someone's question from a group that I'm in, you can be flexible. So if in January I actually don't want to talk about celebrating something on a Facebook Live, I don't have to. Because these are internal themes. People do not know what my themes are. Well, actually the world does because I posted it on my page. But that doesn't matter to me because, I mean, these are all like huge overarching themes. Like nothing's broken down. So I can still be very flexible. Now, from there, I have from the themes and from my my planner, the next thing I do is I look at my call to actions, okay? So that's in the planner too on page 22. So right here, I only have my top 5 call to actions. These are the actions that I want people who are watching my content, who are consuming my content and are interested in what it is that Socialize LA provides. What action do I want them to take after? Okay, so we have to post with purpose. You cannot expect people to watch your content, like your content, consume it, and then go to your website and figure out what to do next. You want to make it so crystal clear to them how to do business with you. Okay, so for me, the top calls to action that are constant are the Done For You landing page, the Done With You landing page, a link to our free Facebook group, Modern Marketing Support Group, a link to our planner, and a link to the Modern Marketing Quiz. Those are number 1 calls to action. Why? Because when people take an action there, they are showing us that they're interested in what we do, and we can start nurturing them in that way, okay? What I've also made possible on this call to action sheet, there's a lot of calls to action. You might say, well, that's a lot of calls to action. How do you prioritize? So the rest of these boxes are all titled January through December. So monthly, I might have a specific call to action that I really want to focus on. So I have room for that as I plan. But when I have the calls to action and I have the themes, I know where I want to prioritize. So the way I prioritize is I say, well, I cannot, and Socialize LA cannot have 100% posts saying, do business with us. We have a Done For You product. We have a Done With You product. We have a planner. We have a check. We have to give value and education into the world, okay? So, and these are things that we all need to do. We can't just use our social media and our marketing platforms as, a big billboard. People will opt out, they will delete, they will unfriend, they will do all those things that we do not want them to do. So what I did to show you as an example is I created my calendar for January. Okay? In this calendar, what you are seeing, where's the guide? The key. The key is right here. Here's the key. These are all my marketing activities. I'm going to read them to you. Podcasts, blog, Facebook Live, stories, posts, the Flex Your Influence community posts, the Modern Marketing Support Group posts, Instagram TV, email blast, LinkedIn published article, engagement, and Pinterest. Now I have the key and the color code, and so now I know that I need to add into this calendar how often I'm talking about the Done For You content, Done With You content, quiz, so on and so forth. when I'm drafting my email, when I'm drafting the podcast, when I'm drafting the blogs, all of that is in here. So the reason I did this and I do this is so I can see a monthly overview as to what I'm going to be doing. So that way I'm not guessing, well, what did I do last week? I can easily see and I can say, oh, well, wait a minute. I did a workplace photo on the 11th. I don't want to do a workplace photo on the 14th yet. I think I'll do it on the 17th. I'll give them a couple days. But I love showing my workspace because I feel like that's just so fun. I love seeing other people's workspace, and a lot of us are like that. We like to see how other people are working. So here we are, and I can see that I have helpful social media tips. I have links to my podcast, links to the blog, links to the planner, links to work with us. So all of that now is prioritized and balanced. So now as I go into January, I don't have to worry about, okay, when am I talking about this? It's all here. So what I do after I've done that is I go to my weekly calendar, my planner, the one that goes with me all the time, and I have created a checklist in my hourly. So if you can see, I took out all the hours for the Saturday, because Saturday I don't need to schedule out my time, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's only weekday stuff. So what I did for Saturday is I'm making this my own planner by whiting out these hours and just making it a list. So this whole list is my work list. And on my work list is all my to-dos for this week. So I'll show you that again. But under this green, you can see all the activities that are in week 1 of January are now in that planner. So I am going down today, like Facebook Live was one of those things, and I'm crossing it off. And that's it, and it's done. So here I am. I have my planner, and I have the tasks, the actions that come in from the planner in my everyday planner, and that's it. And that's how I get it done. And then about halfway through the month, I'm going to start working on February. But in this Flex Your Influence Master Planner, there is a month-end review. So this will be for January. I will take 30 minutes to write this out, because when we review, we improve. And then I have this planning page for the month of February. I can start writing in this now. So if someone says, hey, Margaret, can you help me promote this event, blah, 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 blah. Say, when is it? Oh, February. Great. What week? Okay, good. So there's week 1 through 5, and I can put notes in there to myself to not forget certain content. And so when I go into February to start planning, I can say, oh, in week 4, I'm going to promote the NABO event. And there you go. So that's it. That's a Flex Your Influence Master Planner. This is kind of how I use my Erin Condren, one of the ways, because I use it. It's for personal and business. The last planner I wanted to show you is the Powersheets. This is mostly personal. I guess it is business too, because I do integrate both. I will be honest with you though, I have not started the work. So what I love about this planner, I mean, don't know if I would call it a plan. It's a goal planner, okay? What I love is that before the month even starts, there's this whole section just on planning out your goals. So if it's to eat healthier or run a marathon or, more me time, whatever it is, there's this whole section on just getting these thoughts out of your head, okay? Then every month you have a few sheets, and it's to prepare for the month, to look back on the month prior and, reflect. And this year they do give you a calendar. I'm not sure how I'm going to use that because I use the Erin Condren calendar, but we'll see. We'll see what I do with that. But the most important part, I would love that too, Lauren. I miss you. Every time I see a kettlebell, I think of you. So in the back of the month, you have what they call a tending list. And the tending list is perforated, so you tear it out and you write out your monthly action items, weekly action items, and daily habits that you want to track. So some people might think this is like way too much planning, but I love it, and I know a lot of us think this way, so it helps. But this perforated sheet will be torn out and put into my Erin Condren, so I can keep everything in my Erin Condren. These two planners will pretty much stay in place at my desk. I probably won't be traveling with these, just because I'm trying to not carry so much stuff when I roam around town. So these will just stay at my desk. This will stay at my office desk. This one will stay at my house. Okay? So that's it. I mean, I know there's so much more that we can talk about, but if you have questions, please message me or put it in the comments. Any questions you have about planners. Again, Erin Condren has some amazing planners, different options, and they are a little bit expensive. So I think out the door, once you add some options, they can be $60 plus shipping. So if you're new to planners, you're not sure what you want, I would start at Michael's, because Michael's obviously they have a 40% off coupon all the time. And then they have recollection planners and happy planners that you can at least get started on, and you can do that for $20 or under. So I would do that before you buy a really expensive planner that you hate, if you hated it. So anyway, thank you so much for being here with me. If you have questions about the master planner, if you've already purchased it, you will get access to all the resources. So take advantage of those resources. And I walk you through every single page of the planner and how I use it and how it's intended. But it's always important that you make a planner your own, that you develop a system that works for you. And that's the only way it's going to work. You can't plan the way other people plan. It's great to get ideas. I mean, I get tons of ideas from people, but it's all in how you're going to work it. So I want to thank you for joining me. Happy New Year. I may go live tomorrow. I'm not sure. But either way, thank you again for an amazing year. Thank you for letting me be your guide in all things digital marketing and business. And I love what I do. This is my 11th year in business. There's been a lot of changes. There's been a lot of transitions. And I'm just very grateful for the community. I'm thankful for all the people in my life. And I'm grateful for the Socialize LA team. Amazing, amazing group of people. And I am excited for 2020, this new decade. Thanks again, and I will talk to you soon.